When you give instructions to another person, a lot goes unsaid. You rely on shared context, on assumptions, on experience. You might give a vague direction and still expect a reasonable result. AI doesn't work that way. AI tools need clarity in a very specific sense. Not clarity of intent, not clarity of purpose, but clarity of structure. When a human hears an unclear instruction, they often pause. They ask questions. They infer meaning. They adapt based on context. AI does none of that. An AI system treats every instruction as complete, even when it isn't. From the model's perspective, there is no missing information. There is only an input, and the task of producing an output that fits learned patterns. If the instruction is vague, the output will still be confident, not because the AI understands the ambiguity, but because it has no mechanism to recognize it. This is why prompts matter so much, not because AI is picky, but because it cannot fill gaps the way humans do. Every assumption you don't state is replaced with a statistical guess. You can see this clearly in simple tasks. Ask a person to summarize this text, and they'll decide what matters. Ask an AI to do the same, and it will summarize based on patterns it has seen before. Length, phrasing, structure, not importance. Unless you tell it what to prioritize. The same applies to tone, depth, and accuracy. If you don't specify constraints, AI will choose defaults. Those defaults may sound reasonable, but they may not match what you actually want. This isn't a flaw. It's a consequence of how these systems are built. AI doesn't have goals of its own. It doesn't know what success looks like. It only knows how to respond to what it's given. That's why effective use of AI often feels less like conversation and more like instruction writing. You're not explaining what you want. You're defining the space in which the system is allowed to operate. Understanding this changes how you work with AI tools. Instead of expecting intuition, you provide structure. Instead of assuming understanding, you specify constraints. And instead of treating vague outputs as mistakes, you see them as signals that the instruction wasn't precise enough. AI can be extremely useful, but it only works as well as the clarity of the input it receives. That responsibility doesn't sit with the system. It sits with the human using it. If this perspective was useful, you can like the video or share it with someone who uses AI tools regularly. Thanks for watching.